This week we are exploring urban sustainability. My guest is Meredith Baldwin. Just briefly tell us what your role as Sustainable Cities Coordinator entails.
Sounds good, Eleanor, and thanks for having me. So for folks who don't know, the Ecology Action Centre is a member-based environmental charity that works here in Nova Scotia. And we work on critical issues from biodiversity to environmental justice to climate change. My role ends up fitting into kind of two different parts. One part of it is helping individuals and stakeholders participate in urban planning. And then the other part falls into being kind of a watchdog for key environmental issues, primarily in HRM. The environment often does not get represented. So it's kind of like having parts of the environment as a client. There's kind of two parts of plans there. We have Halifax 2050, the Climate Action Plan, and that falls into the category of a priority plan in that same grouping of priority plans. We also have the Halifax Green Network Plan and the Integrated Mobility Plan. They've each been approved, but they are not necessarily guiding Halifax's development decisions. They have to actually be implemented into other plans in order to do that. The other category that definitely isn't climate-specific plans, but certainly has an impact would be like our regional municipal planning strategy, and then all of our secondary community plans. And that's where elements of the Integrated Mobility Plan or Halifax as a climate action plan actually get picked up and implemented so they can guide the decisions that HRM makes. One of the benefits perhaps is that HRM gets to look at a very specific issue and make a plan and roadmap for addressing that issue likely a lot quicker than they could do if they had to open up the whole regional plan and make amendments each time. And then it kind of just leaves it up to the question of how effectively can we implement the priority plan. Something like Halifax, it's only been passed for about 1 year at this point, and they have been implementing it quite quickly. And then on the other side of things, you have something like the Halifax Green Network Plan, where it reached 1 year after being approved and virtually none of the action items had been achieved. So I'd say that kind of continued commitment and attention to each of these priority plans by council and by staff is really important for the model to be successful. So I do think Halifax is a good example, at least 1 year out. And Halifax is focused more on the kind of emissions, energy, and efficiency side of climate. Their approach is very conscious of the amount of time that they have to take action on environmental issues. They have also done a good job at trying to extend the environmental side of things beyond just this one climate-focused team. And connecting with all of the other teams inside of HRM. Halifax actually mapped out in all of the different areas the most significant emissions that will need to be brought down by 2050. So I think those top three fall into retrofitting existing buildings, solar, and then renewables. Those are kind of the top three that we need to be working on as a community and that HRM needs to be progressing on. But there's a case study that I really like to kind of illustrate why complete communities are so important. It compares two different settlement types in the GTA, and one of them is a very dense urban settlement, and then there's another community that is out in the suburbs. The one that is in the more urban area cuts emissions by more than 10 times in comparison to the other one. Unfortunately, I would say largely our municipality is not really supportive of this type of communities. You have your kind of outliers like the center plan, which is about to hopefully be passed and move forward and help densify the Halifax Peninsula and Dartmouth. Then there's a lot of outdated plans. Halifax's suburban and rural plans, most of them haven't been updated in any kind of comprehensive way since Halifax amalgamated, and they have very old values and visions for our community. And I believe in a lot of cases are kind of stopping these really ideal, complete communities or not supporting them at least. Yeah, and then the other side of it that HRM does have right now is our infrastructure charges. So what we're charging developers when they are developing more greenfield style developments are quite low in comparison to other cities. There's kind of two sides of it in that there definitely are people who are in a position where they are able to pay more upfront. So it may cost more upfront, but down the line, you will actually save money. There often are people who can't pay a larger initial cost. And I think that is where programs come in to provide incentives, supports. A good example is programs that help with renewable energy feasibility, incentives for retrofitting, creating policies so HRM isn't subsidizing suburbs by not incentivizing them and putting affordable housing in complete communities. HRM as a city can help people not have to pay that larger initial cost for sustainability. In terms of the policy and planning side, really being involved and keeping up to date on what's happening is a core thing that people can do. I also recognize that that is often very challenging. I think that's where places like PLANned to keep you informed come in. If folks are looking for something to do right now and really have an impact, I would suggest checking out Halifax's regional plan review, which it's currently in their public consultation phase. And it's our highest level planning document. So it's a good one to spend maybe 5 or 10 minutes giving your feedback. And we also, through the Ecology Action Center, have created some resources to try to make this stage of the regional plan review a little bit easier to understand. So if anybody is interested in that, we've tried to put some maybe more consumable information out there. If you would like to follow the EAC on social media, everything is at Ecology Action. So you can find it there. You can also find at RHRM Alliance on everything.
Meredith, it was super nice to talk to you. I look forward to hopefully speaking with you again.
Definitely. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me and for running this series.
Bye.
Bye.